Get away.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, I mean, I feel like they saved the best for last. Michael.
I see. Look at
I
the people
think
that
it's you.
stayed.
I mean,
too.
everybody's missing out on this incredible conversation that we're going to have. Now, I don't know about you. I am a BI geek. I love data. I could geek out on data forever and a day. So I'm really excited. Regardless of all the other people that left, you and I are going to have a great conversation. I would love to start with a little bit about you, your background, your organization. I feel like you're a really well-kept secret, but you're actually, Global Furniture is massive in scale and size. So can you give everybody a little bit of a background on
Sure.
you and Global?
So I work at a company called Global Furniture Group. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. We are the largest office furniture manufacturer in Canada. We own about 80% of the office furniture market in Canada. We are a 100% family-run Canadian business. All of the manufacturing is done right here in Toronto. So we have one offshore company in China that makes small parts for us, but everything is a totally 100% Canadian company. So if you want to support Canadian companies and you want office furniture, we're the ones to got.
Look at that. The most applause of the day.
We have over 5,000 employees. We are all over the world. We ship to the United States, South America, Australia, the Middle East, Asia, Europe. So we are a well-kept secret. We do a very large number years sales. I can't say because I signed my life away because we are a family-run business. It's run by one family. It's 60 years old. So also too, it's a family business, even though there's so many people working there. I've been there for 30 years. I started when I was 8, and there's a lot of people that have been there many, many years. When I started, there had been people that had started, the company started in 1966. I started in 1996, and there's people that have been working there for 30 years when I started, and not just the family. There's a lot of people, most of my group that reports to me have been working for at least 10 years for us, and they're younger people. So it's not unusual. When people start, they're extremely surprised at how long people stay. It's a certain culture to work there. I'd say it's what we call an entrepreneurial culture. So we are a very flat organization. We're open door. And I think that that's part of why people stay and how we get the people to stay. We treat employees like with a lot of respect, and I'm just going on about the company. We have, they understand that you have families. They don't work you to death, and there is a payoff for that. I don't get tons of emails on the weekend from my boss, and we expect you to work when you're there, but when you're off, you're off. So I think that that's a certain kind of person that does that as well. Never mind, I'm 5 minutes from the office, so that's probably part of the reason I've stayed for so long. But
I feel like there's going to be a few people that are going to be connecting with you on LinkedIn because so many might enjoy that kind of culture.
Yeah, it's not perfect. It has its ups and downs, and it's a way of getting through. But it's a great place to work.
And I think that's a great segue in because what we want to talk about is business intelligence, how to streamline it. I mean, throughout the day, we've talked about AI. Throughout the 2 days, we've talked about AI. AI is nothing without data. And data is kind of the basis, the foundation for everything within BI. I think there's a lot of organizations that are going through work to restructure, replatform, to rethink how they look at BI and its role within the organization. And you've recently gone through an upgrade. And how have you internally created the storyline that this is not just a tech upgrade? We're not just changing out platforms. We are going to redefine how BI is considered within our organization, leveraged in our organization, and that it actually is a strategic advantage in our organization.
Oh, sure. I mean, I place BI and the data as the business, not IT. And it's
Great.
really, really important that we focus on that part of it. Yes, we use computers, so that just because we use computers and data doesn't mean we're IT, because really, every single person in your organization uses a computer. Does that mean they're part of IT? So I think it's really, a strong feeling that I have that really helps. I have a really amazing CFO. I report to the CFO. I don't report to IT. And it's a very strong look that this is a strategic use of our information to make better decisions throughout the organization. And just because we're using the latest and the greatest doesn't mean it's about IT. We partner with IT to get our things going, but I don't know much about how to create a network. I mean, I have my thing as data and analytics. I'm director of that. And on LinkedIn, I get so many people sending me, hey, you want to come to the latest thing about security? I'm like, no. Do you want to come to the latest thing about how to set up your network? I'm like, no. Like, just because you have that on, and I think that's part of that problem out there as well. Mm-hmm. It's really important to get that understanding. I mean, the data is so important, and I know everyone hates it, but governance is the most important thing. If you don't have that foundation, you can't run AI, you can't run intelligence because nobody trusts the data. And we started a governance program, and I had to harp on this for 5 years before we actually got it going, okay? Because it's one of those things that everyone thinks we have to have, but nobody really wants to do it. And until you just explain about it, I mean, this is part of being the entrepreneurial company. You can come with ideas, and they're open to listening to you. I sort of created this role for myself after being there in different roles. I've done this for 8 years now. So I didn't start doing data and analytics, although I always had that part running through my life. So a big part of that is showing the value, because the only way I get projects done, we were talking about this earlier, is what's the value? Can I increase sales, or can I make things more efficient and save money? So they don't think of us as a cost center, okay? They're thinking of us as how we can make things more efficient, help the organization, and pull things off. Like, we have a legacy system, a very old legacy system. We have all kinds of programmers running our ERP, and this used to run all these crazy reports. I'm old, so I mean, we used to get these things
You're
and rip off.
You're mature,
okay,
Michael.
I'm mature, yes, I'm mature. So anyway, everyone was getting these crazy reports that was like some kind of stupid thing on your screen or a PDF. I started figuring out how to download things, and this is how it evolved. So what we've done is we created a reason to pull reporting off from that mainframe, from that programming core, so that they have more time to actually work on the system than worrying about how to create a report for people. So that was a big thing, because we had a philosophy before, do everything in-house. We are going to do everything in-house. We are not going to partner with any companies, okay? And I pushed this agenda that we needed to partner to pull this off, to take the pressure off of them so that they can do what they really need to do, and we can take care of reporting, analysis, forecasting, all of that kind of stuff.
And when you looked at your partners, and I say partner with intention versus, going out and doing an RFP for vendors, what was important to Global Furniture when you were looking at a partner for your BI transformation?
The service that we got from the partner.
Yeah.
The personal relationship that we had with the salesperson, with their help desk, that somebody that I could pick up the phone and actually talk to, instead of, put a ticket in on a thing, on an email, and then it goes into this bucket and you never hear from anybody and you don't get the answer you want and you're extremely frustrated, because whatever you buy, ultimately their reason to sell to you is to help you solve your problem, not to make your problems more difficult, okay? And if they don't have an actual person on that line, and that personal relationship is still very important, and you can AI it all you want, but when the AI gives you a wrong answer, what do you do? Okay, because it does. So, we were partnered with a company for 8 years, and their service levels fell off dramatically. We got switched around and moved around, and we went to them and we're like, this is what's happening. What are you going to do? And they just sort of let it go, thinking we would be with them forever, and we found another organization that helped us. So we moved, even though it was a massive risk, and our CFO does not like risk, but this was a year of going out and finding companies that could help us, and eventually we did find one that is doing way more than we ever had before. So it was a big challenge, and we did this. We changed in 6 months. Okay.
Wow, that's pretty
From the
fast.
time we signed the contract to the time we got off our old one to the time that we got on the new one, I gave our team 6 months because I did not want to sign another year with the new contract. And if we had to, we would, but we didn't.
Okay, so now we're going to, I mean, it's a happy family, longevity in people there, just great culture. Regardless of all of that, when we deal with BI, and I had a BI team in my previous company, we won't say who, but there was always friction between my team and the organization, between access to data and control of data, because many people, we would generate a report for them and they'd want one little tweak. Can I just have the data? And then they would regenerate the report. So now we would duplicate efforts, and then there'd be something different in how they duplicated it, and that would be shared out. And now we have just missed data out there existing. So how do you and your team manage access? Because we love self-service, but still control the flow of data.
Well, part of the thing we changed, never mind changing the platform we used, I also created a different way of working that helped us change. So before, what would happen is my team of analysts, people from all the organizations, all the different business units would put in a ticket, and then we would have our funnel, and then they would be mad at us because we took too long. Or what happened was, my analysts would meet with the people, they don't exactly understand what they want, or they are not explaining it. We come back, they're like, that's not what I wanted this, and then it's a lot of time. So on this new platform, because it is extremely self-serve and it is low code, no code, I went around to all the departments, and we started with 8 to start with, and then we're growing from there because I can't do it all at once. And we said, who in your department knows everything about data? Who in your department is the person that you go to when you need a report, when you need something downloaded, when you need an Excel sheet, okay, because everyone still uses them. And we took these people and we trained them on this new system. So what we did is we took, instead of my team having to all of a sudden cram through everything, part of that 6 months was 3 months of training for all of these people. We started a support group for everybody. We met every week. We talked about what issues they were having. They all started to become friends. They all started to help each other. We also had support from the group. And then gradually, we took over 120 different reports across the company. We crunched it down to like nothing because there was all kinds of stuff on there that people wanted that never used it, okay? And then or we had a report or an analysis that had like 25 tabs within it. So we just slashed and burned. We asked surveys, they came back. Some stuff we just decided to get rid of, and we actually still haven't heard from them. It's been 6 months, right? And what we did is those people in each department became the analyst for that department. So my team supports them in the sense of models, okay, getting access to the data, getting security levels that these other people only have security for the data in their departments. And we've set up different pipelines depending on what data you have. My team has access to everything and knows who can do what. We set that all up. Those people that we created sort of new analysts, then take that, they can work on pipelines themselves as well if they're not too complicated, and they create the analysis for their department. So they're getting stuff way faster than I could ever do it with my team, and they're doing what they know and understand. Because even though my team sat there and tried to know what they wanted, they didn't really know what the team wanted. And those people, so we set that up, and it's been like aha moment for everybody. Even the owner is like, wow, this is amazing.
Well, I mean, it's development of skill, right? There's engagement. People are you're actually building a team around the organization. You are taking the expertise that exists in different departments and leveraging them. I mean, yes, you can't expect a BI team to understand the merchandising KPIs or the marketing KPIs or the call center. So I love the idea of it, and that probably why people stay in the organization for so long. now they've learned a new skill.
Yeah, like we skilled them up. All of a sudden, they're more valuable, and we didn't pay them anything more, and no one's asked for more money either. So it's something about learning and feeling value that they're bringing to the organization and be like, wow, look what I can do. And they're really, like when we meet everyone like now we do once a month because it's less, but we make someone show the group what they've done, what they've learned, okay, to share their knowledge because someone's doing, hey, I didn't know that. So the thing is, they become a really great team together. They don't report to me directly. It's like a dotted reporting, but it really helps build their morale and made them feel like it's something new. And like, no, not everybody got it. 2 people, wasn't for them, way in over their heads, didn't understand, and that's okay. We found somebody else, and we move on.
I think that's great. And one of our questions was, with a new BI system requires a new mindset. And how, in probably legacy behavior is that I consume a report. I consume reports, and now what you're creating is more of insight creators. And you've got them around the organization because it's less about consuming something that's been given to people actually building things that are truly making a difference within the organization.
Yeah, and also too, we also got a platform where the user, okay, the lay user, I don't know what you want to call them, the guys using the reports can actually go in and modify themselves. There's an AI feature in it, and there's also, we did a lot of training. Because a lot of the time on the old platform was like, this is really good, but I need to see it this way. Can I add something? I want to see it as a line. I don't want to see it as a bar graph. So we put a ticket, open the thing. It still takes time. So we found a platform where those people can go in and change it themselves and save it for what they want to do, and they don't have to know anything about coding or anything like that. It's actually a great platform. So these people become self-sufficient and take a lot of that pressure, and they're creating their own stuff. And now they can't touch the data, they can't change the data, they can't manipulate the data. All they do is, they manipulate it in the sense that they see what they want to see, but they don't have access to touching that information and changing it. So the trust is still there.
I think that's what's important. It makes them far more productive in their day-to-day in that, I think that a lot of organizations always feel better if I report on it. And to your point, now you have 130 legacy reports that are existing out there. When you made the transition, how did you truly start to prioritize, other than just turning them off and never building them again? How did you prioritize within the business what reports were valuable in driving outcome and what was no longer necessary?
Yeah, I mean, we know, there's certain reports that our CFO looks at and our president looks at, and those are the priority ones over other ones. And there is a lot, like our sales department uses this like the Bible. So they were priority because they are the ones that really are the ones that dug into it. This is where we started with it, and they are the experts using this. And then gradually we worked with the other departments to see what was important. We had like Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and within that we had priorities. Never mind we were having to attach to data sources, we were having to deal with our IT, which was a lot of work. And so it was working together, and then sometimes those priorities changed. I think we're agile before we even knew what agile was. So sometimes someone comes in and be like, I need this, and we're like, okay, what's the priority? Why do you need it? What's going on? Okay, we'll see what we can do. Or sometimes what would happen is there's one guy that was like, oh my God, just took off with this. So he became sort of like a backup for us so that if we couldn't do something, we would go to him. And he's just loving it. And he was sort of in a position that he felt bored, useless, didn't feel that he was being given opportunities that he wanted, and he just fit this well. So we use those resources when we can.
I love that. I love that. I mean, I'm all about upskilling and finding passion for employees. You know, if you came in the call center, it doesn't mean you can't be on the operations
Oh,
team.
yeah.
So.
I came in the call center.
Oh, there's
I
nothing.
started in customer service with
Me
them.
too.
Yeah.
I was at Shaw Cable. Where were you? Oh,
Global.
Global.
I did work for a few places before, like TD.
So we've got a team that's been used to, especially when you're in a legacy organization, a team that's used to, this is how I do my job. How do you work through the retraining of the organization? So it sounds like you brought in a lot of people into the conversation, but you really have to change a mindset of who's using and consuming your data for them to understand the benefits here.
Yeah, we did an initial training of just like, hey, this is how you sign on, this is how you look up your stuff, but there was so much more. And so we went around after and saw how things are going, and there's one guy that's like, oh my God, I love this, best thing ever. I'm like, great, what are you doing? So he came with my team and started showing all this amazing stuff that we wanted people to do. So we're getting him to train the salespeople. Okay?
Perfect.
Because for my team to go out and be like, okay, click here, click there, we don't know what they really need to use it for, okay? So he's saying, oh, when I go see we're B2B, and we call them dealers, so when I go to see my dealer, I do this, and then I do this, and I'm like, this is great. So we're set up a training, and it's a workshop. We make our people come in, they have to bring their laptops. It's not sit and click and click and click and click. It's, here's a question, I want to go to my dealer, and this is the report, and how do I modify the one I have? Well, and so we give them 10 minutes to try to figure it out, or depending on the difficulty, and then we go around and we help them, and we go over the questions and be like, hey, so it becomes something that it sticks in their head, because, when you're at a course and you're like, okay, click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, and then you get the answer, and then you leave, and you're like, I don't even know what I did. So this way, we're making them learn themselves, and hopefully it sticks in their head a little bit. So I use champions a lot, because for me to go around tooting my own horn, I don't like doing that. I feel like whatever. But if I get someone else that really likes it, and they go around saying, wow, you should see what the data department's doing, that's better than me doing it. In the beginning, when I first did this 8 years ago, we had this one VP, and he was like, oh my gosh, you should see what they're doing. And then all of a sudden, all these departments started coming to us going, what are you doing? Can you help us? And so that's how it grew.
It's a marketing thing. You want influencers, you want reviews, you want ratings. So getting one advocate in the building will make a big difference.
The whole thing becomes sales.
Of course. Okay, so future. What does the next generation of BI look like? We've got kind of we're hybrid, right? We're providing reports, but they're self-service. We have AI, it is coming. Where do you see BI going when there's going to be so many predictive elements? What's kind of the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh gosh.
Right?
Oh, a lot of more self-service. AI is, our platform uses AI now too. So AI is going to be a big part of it. It's just whether you can really trust what the AI is doing, because people think it is just, it's very, to me it's a little scary, because nobody has data that's okay for the AI to use. So the AI is giving you answers that aren't necessarily correct, because your data sets are not clean, and we spend a lot of time making sure that we built that up from the bottom as well. And so I can't stress the governance is so important to make sure the AI is working. I think that's a big thing. This field changes so fast. I got involved in this because 8 years ago, my boss, I was in sales and marketing then, said to me and the head of marketing, there's this thing about, business intelligence. You want to go to a conference? I'm like, sure. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I saw all the possibilities, okay, of how this could help the organization, and built the case and did that. But from what I did 8 years ago to now, it's light speed. By the time I learned something, I feel like behind the 8 ball. I feel like for me and the organization, you have to find the thing that's working and move with that and really focus on that, because you can get so caught up in the next great thing that you lose focus on what's really important at that time. And you can be like, wow, I want this, I want this, I want this. Like every time I go to these things,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh, but you sort of have to damp down what's important for your organization. And like we are starting an AI, dipping our toes in. We're going to start with an agentic AI agent on our website, okay, to help customers find product. If you go to our website, globalfurnituregroup.com, okay, you can look up that we have like thousands of products. We have millions of SKUs because of all of the combinations and permutations. You can order a chair or a desk or a file, the colors, whatever. So it's very difficult, especially if you're an end user coming to our website. So this is going to help people. We did an example, like it was like, hey, I'm looking for office chairs for my office, and I want, brown carpet and white walls, and it started to give us, from our fabric information, what would go and what wouldn't. So this helps people navigate our website, and we're starting very small. There was our customer care, and they're like, we got to hook up to our customer care so that our customers can look at it right away. And we're like, me and the other person doing this are like, no, this has to start small. We have to work all the kinks out. Mm-hmm. We just did our first test, and there's like 25 mistakes. So, it's like the company, and we partnered with an outside firm again because they have the expertise, and that's really important too.
I think that is, for everyone I talk to, I absolutely recommend a buy right now. When it comes to anything with AI, I would say, your POCs, go out, buy, don't build it. You don't have the expertise in your team. Things are moving too fast. It's a waste of resource. You need to have a great resource that can work with the organization that you're getting the service from. But for all of you out there, I think there's enough incredible partners. We've seen a lot of them over the last 2 days. Buy, don't build. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think this has been a great conversation. I know less in the audience, but I appreciated our time. I'm excited to learn more about Global. Now I'm gonna, go Canadian. I love it.
Do it.
Okay. Thanks so much, Michael.
Thank you.